Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to excuse me, wow, I just fumbled on my words there, to the Tilt Champions League, the TCL. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. Bot Kingdom is back on the cast tonight. I got Tilted Tom with me as well. Tilted Tom, how are we doing tonight, my man? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. I'm doing pretty good. I've got my assortment of beverages ready to try to keep up with your casting tonight. Got my little water when it gets a little rougher, and then just to keep my energy up, I got a nice little drink. One of my sweet mates got me hooked on a Rain orange dreamsicle energy drink.
Woo! Okay, alrighty. So we are juiced up and ready to go for the energy tonight. I love to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an incredible match for you. And to Tilted Tom and I, this is kind of a uh, not a personal match, but it's one that we saw and we had to sign up for to
Very
bring to
true.
you tonight. We have front to back versus the footlongs. And Tilted Tom, let's just get right into it and explain why this match is just very special for us.
Yeah. Alec and I have good personal connections. We to a few people on the team. On the side of the footlongs, we have 12-inch. Obviously the captain of the team. Good friends with both of us. Actually, coached Toasty a while ago, back when he was hard stuck silver. Got him into gold.
Okay. All
Uh,
right, dude. He didn't get me into gold. I got myself into gold. All right, but yes, he did coach me, and that is something that is also to note, as well as TJ and Reform Bully, as well, and also A Barn and Spirit of Fate. I work very closely with those two as well, and Spirit's just a good friend of mine. And then on the other side, right, we got 12 inch as you mentioned before. Althena, once again, Denny, our mid laner for the Sunni Canton team. And then we have Hippogriff, another great friend of mine as well. Work with him a lot. And then Jet, who is a very good friend of ours as well, TJ, I would say. Even when I go against Jet, we're always laughing and we're having a great time in the end as well. And then we got IREP. IREP's doing his own thing. He's a really great guy.
he
I
plays his
love
own.
IREP. He
Yeah, he
does.
does.
And I respect it. I respect his game because this man has a really interesting take on what he likes to play. And
Mhm.
if you haven't seen him yet, you will definitely get to see his take on the game tonight. So, all right, Tom, there's a lot to unpack here in this match tonight. So why don't we start at the top? Reformed Bully versus Hippogriff. This is a matchup that I would say is fairly even, right? I think Hippogriff beats Reformed Bully mechanically. However, Reform Bully is a very well-versed tank player, so I'm expecting
Mm.
him to be able to make things happen in the team fights, and also personally talking with him as well. He's a great shot caller for his team, and he's always keeping his team's mental in check.
Yeah. Uh,
I would say so.
I'm also interested to see just how the top side's going to go for both of these teams because, like you said, Hippogriff probably has the advantage when it comes to mechanics. Uh, Reform Bully will, he is, like you said, very good at shot calling. But when you talk about the Footlong's top lane, you're not talking about just the person who is assigned the role top lane. You're talking about the Senna Shen bot lane that's going to be helping him out as soon as they hit level 6.
It's true, man. It's true. And another thing about Reform Bully as well is that he's one of those players. You feel me? He's one of those enchanter top laner players
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. So we might, if we want to put like a bar on something like really hyper carry, which we'll get into in a little bit, once we hit the draft phase, he can play the champions like the Lulu and the Soraka top lane as
Hmm.
well. I'm sure this guy would even play Seraphine top lane if he really
Yeah, he
wanted to.
wouldn't even just stop at those three. He's got like an entire enchanter pool specifically. I've seen his favorites page on like the champ select screen, and the stuff he has up there favorited for top is just unheard of.
It's crazy, man. You thought my AD Cannon being favorited in bot was something of like something special to behold. This guy's got a whole enchanter list up in the top lane. But yeah. So as we're getting ready to go into in ban phase right now, just want to go ahead and gloss over the rest of the team as well. TJ versus 12 inch. This is a rivalry that I know Tilted Tom and I are very excited to get into. I mean, 12 inch obviously have a really personal connection with that guy, as the Seraphine's already taken away from Jet. That
There's
is
just
a,
no
excuse me.
hesitation there.
Yeah, no hesitation on either of these bans here. The Seraphine being taken away from Tail Whip, as well as the Kai'Sa being taken away from Abar. And then okay, we're just gonna keep going on the tail whip ban. Senna being taken off the board as well, and the Cogmog ban
Or A-Bar.
from A-Barn. I haven't actually been stalking the match histories of this team, but A-Barn can play the Cogmog. He
Mhm.
he's a very well versed. He's a very disciplined AD carry, I would say, because his positioning is actually really good.
And then they're just gonna take away the Urgot from 12-inch, you know, coming from top lane. He's been playing a lot of jungle Urgot recently. Likes that pick in the role. It's one of his biggest comfort picks. So just getting rid of that, just gonna shake it up, put him on something different. Maybe we see the Trundle, maybe we see an actual jungler like Hecarim, but
Yeah, potentially. I mean, we can't discredit the amount of work that 12 Edge has been putting in on the Pantheon jungle as well, even with the recent nerfs coming through. Speaking of a lot of work, Reformed Bully just hovering the Varus there, you know, one of the signature champions, and they're just going to grab the Ezreal for A-Barn. Very safe blind pick.
Mm.
Now we're just expecting to see what Tail Whip and IREP have in store for that pick, because Ezreal, if you've checked the recent win rates, excuse me, P.GG currently has Ezreal sitting at a almost a 52% win rate with a whopping 37.5 pick rate. This champion, with the amount of skill, with the amount of skill that this champion takes, right, to pilot. I mean, I'm a 600,000 mastery Ezreal player myself. Played it on multiple competitive occasions and have won multiple competitive games with him. He's hard to pilot. If a champion is hard to pilot and has a win rate like that, the champion's absolutely broken.
yeah. And then Footlong's just gonna respond with picking up Althena's Victor. You know, I still don't know if he's played a singular game of TCL so far that wasn't on Victor. You know, maybe in scrims they try something else different, but I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they're just gonna throw him on the Victor with the Pantheon. More than likely going to 12-inch. It's his like second one trick. You can call him a two trick, I guess. Urgot Pantheon. It's, you know, pretty insane character. Just jumping on people, proccing PTA, hitting an empowered Q, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's like I get hit by a set W.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was talking to Reform Bully about this a little bit, and they got to talking a little bit before the match, and Reform Bully was telling me a little bit that if there was a time to pick Pantheon, like, it's into this team, right? Like, 12-inch needs to be able to bring the power, the early game power, to be able to make his team dominant. As we're going to see the Shen coming out for the top lane. Now, I gotta be honest, if I'm the Footlongs right now, I'm picking Sivir. I really would like to see the Sivir pick here from Tail Whip. It's not there, but instead we're going to get the set.
The set, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to be putting Hippo on something a little bit higher, a higher power. Excuse me. We're going to give him some more power here within the top lane, being able to 1v1 that Shen, do everything he can. Also bring the engage with the Showstopper. But I'm expecting a Sivir ban here from the side of front to back. I think it makes the most sense. I think Sivir is one of the best champions to be played into the Ezreal, next to champions like Kog'Maw. Those two champions are just absolutely cracked. I mean, you could also do things like the Tristana as well to give yourself a little bit more presence in lane. But Ezreal, if the Ezreal's good, they'll just use the Arcane Shift at an opportune time to ensure that not much damage is being given to themselves with the Tristana Halo Blades. As we're awaiting the final ban, both Kayn and Kindred be taken off.
No, it's going to be the Sivir.
It will be. That's a very heads-up ban there. Tail Whip also going to be hovering.
The Ivern.
The Ivern. I mean, that's a pretty big inside joke for Tom and I. If there's one thing you gotta know about Tail Whip personally, he absolutely despises Ivern. It's his most hated champion, I would say, Tom.
With Tail Whip is you're basically going to be losing a ban every game because he's going to be banning Ivern every game, and when you're playing game modes like Nexus Blitz where you can't play Ivern, he just chooses to ban nothing instead.
Alrighty, well, we are going to be seeing IREP once again on the Shaco. I like the Ashe hover here, excuse me. Ashe is actually really good to Ezreal in lane, but the problem is that once Ezreal gets his 3 item power spike into this team, it's probably going to be the Divine Sunderer into the Manamune. You could also kind of interchange that depending on how the game goes. Morgana being taken for Spirit of Fate as well. I really like this from Spirit. We haven't really been seeing much of him on the Morgana.
Yeah.
But once Ezreal gets to the Manamune Divine Sunderer and Frozen Heart combination, there's not really a whole lot that Ashe can do to take down that Ezreal, unless she gets a really good enchanted Crystal Arrow. So that's going to be the win con for that as we await the final pick. I can't believe Xin Zhao has made it all the way through the draft, but they're
not even going to go for it.
Yeah, it's going to be TJ
They decided
Beast.
to pick up the Gragas instead.
Yeah, I actually like this adaptation. I mean, I really like the Xin Zhao, but the problem is that into Xin Zhao, right? Xin Zhao into the Pantheon, that's actually really weird for the Xin Zhao. It's gonna be a really awkward fight. So they decide to go for the Gragas, which gives him a little bit more tankiest, a little bit more escape, and a really nice team fight ultimate as well, as the Ashe gets picked up for Tail Whip. Rounding out the drafts here, Tom, I gotta be honest with you, for
Hmm.
as much as I love to see Hippogriff on the set, and as much as I love to see the Shaco support once again for IREP, this man has been playing the Shaco all season. I think I like front to back. I think I like their comp a lot more here than the 12. Excuse me, the footlong comp here for the footlongs.
Yeah, I think I would agree. You look at the side of front to back, their team fight and just poke potential seems to be pretty, like, just very slightly more comparative to the side of the footlongs. You have a relatively safe bot lane, Morgana Ezreal. They're just gonna look to get the poke damage. They're just gonna look to handshake the lane, probably hit 6, do whatever bot lane does. You have the mid lane matchup where Althena on one of his comfort picks versus Caridian's LeBlanc. LeBlanc might be able to, spice it up. The distortion ability, just getting out of the gravity fields, shouldn't really be a lot of chances to completely lock down the LeBlanc unless Pantheon comes in with his W, which I can't remember the name of that ability, but just point click CC, easy enough. And then on top of all that, you have Reform Bully. I don't want to say he's not a bad top laner, but he plays way too many roles for me to really know where he stands. So just giving him the Shen, giving him a safe champion, just so that he'll be able to help out the rest of his team, just hunker down through the laning phase and just try to get into the mid to late game and push whatever advantages they can find in the early game.
And one thing I forgot to mention too, as we were given the introduction to these teams, we forgot to mention Caridian. Caridian has been such an impressive mid laner already within these first couple of weeks. This man has been popping off on champions like the Corki, the champions like LeBlanc, which I got to see a little bit of a sneak peek of the Caridian LeBlanc. So I really like this from Caridian, just looking for the early trades onto the Althena Victor, giving a little bit of that agency, also being able to roam around and make some crazy outplays happen as well. So very excited to see how Caridian is able to deal with Althena, because you and I both know, Tom, Althena is one scary Victor. This guy, I know he probably feels awful picking the Victor every single game. I remember when we met this man, he was like assassin player, like Master Yi mid and stuff like that, and I'm really hyped for things like that, those really like interesting off meta picks. But he goes back to the Victor, and we have to commemorate the discipline from Althena, to be able to have that sort of mentality, to be fun and winning, and being able to differentiate that, and being able to go towards more the winning side rather than the more fun side. So he has the mentality of winning is fun, and not always the mentality of fun is winning. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and in TCL, you're gonna need that if you want to be one of the top teams, excuse me, as the TCL Season 2 champion, being put on Jhin and Tristana every single game. So, one thing that I really want to focus here on, Tom, is the Shaco support once again, because as someone who has played into this Shaco support, I'll tell you right now, it is so annoying.
Yes.
This champion is just like, wow, you would think that it'd be fine to play against, but IREP just does such a great job at getting into your head and outplaying you at every single stage of the game. It's just like, what do you do? In some of these fights, I mean, week 1 when we played against them, I was playing Tristana, and every single time I wanted to jump in, I would always get stuck with the Shackle box. Exactly. And remember, Tristana is CCable while she's in her rocket jump, right? So it's like, I rocket jump like over a box or onto a box or just as I'm jumping. Like, it's super annoying. And while he's also taking the Guardian as well, it's just adds more to that landing phase power for the Ashe to be able to pop off here. But Tom, we are finally in game, and I
Finally
could
made it
not
back
be
to the
more
promised
excited.
land of Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, man, Absolutely. I could not be more excited to be able to bring this incredible action. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is TCL, brought to you by our friends over at League Spot. Your league, your way, Tilted Tom. I am very excited to get into this.
I am as well, yeah. But yeah, going back to what we were talking about at the tail end of Champ Select, we talked about Althena's discipline. Yeah, you can't talk about discipline on the footlong, so I'm talking about everyone. We all know that they're the most practiced team in the TCL by far. Honestly, some of those players should probably try to find lives outside of the Rift, but you know,
Oh,
everyone has those
man.
moments.
Hey, man, I mean, you gotta, like, I gotta be honest with you. There are two different sides, right, to TCL teams. There are the TCL teams that are very disciplined and win TCL, which we've seen in A-Barn's team in Season 1. And then you have my team last year, Team Monkey Brains, who barely practiced ever and still was able to dominate the competition, only dropping one series,
Yeah,
right?
and that's
So,
one of the important things about just having the mechanical skill.
yeah, absolutely. And 12-inch has done a really great job at being able to get his team in that disciplined mindset, right? I've kind of peeked in on a couple of his streams as well when he's practicing with his team, and though the team is pretty quiet overall, 12-inch is always communicating. This man is never tilting, and he's always on top of it.
Yeah, like you said, or not like you said, but the message A-Barn put out today, you know, talking about how Raymond just turns his team into an RTS game. He just has that ability to just command people. Just he knows where people need to be. He'll give out all the information that he thinks is important to everything. And yeah, like calling it an RTS is honestly what I would equate that to.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate, and as someone who's an Ezreal connoisseur, I'm very excited to see A-Barn pilot this champion. It's not a champion that he's known for by a long shot. You know, this is a player that I like to see him more on champions like the Jinx, right? The Kog'Maw, really hyper carry champions. And instead, we're going to be giving him more of a self-sustaining champion, as we now have a little bit of a trade in the top side. Hippogriff getting a little aggressive here on the Reform Bully. And Reform Bully's just not really living up to his name here, getting absolutely destroyed here in the top lane by Hippogriff already, finding an excellent E there on the set.
Yeah, I'm not a top lane player, but I can imagine trying to push into level 2 as Shen versus a set. Doesn't seem like the best winning thing. So Hippogriff just finding the level 2, getting that nice little trade-off, managing to find the poke damage that he wanted onto Bully, making him use a pot, and now Bully has his summoner spells both up, but I don't think he wants to use either of those just yet.
Yeah, and Hippogriff, we've seen him really dominate these lanes here, especially with the set. You know, Hippogriff is a sleeper player, I would say. This guy's been doing really well up in the top side. Speaking of top side, 12-inch going to be grabbing that red buff and potentially mean the Gragas here on the top side. Scuttle going to be looking for it. Definitely has the burst to be able to take it, but potentially notices something is up as the Scuttle's now being taken by 12-inch. Althena's actually is in a really good position to be able to roam up here on the Victor as well, but once again, we talked about Caridian on the LeBlanc also being there to be able to get there very quickly, as now we're going to potentially see a mid lane gank, and here comes 12-inch, potentially has the flash W ready, decides to go straight for the W, getting the empowered Q off, potentially, getting the root as well, and just going to walk away. Nice little bit of damage from 12-inch to be able to give Althena a little bit more pressure in this lane.
Yep. Gragas looking to, he went blue to Gromp there. He probably knew that the Pantheon clear was going to be a little bit faster than him, so he didn't want to try to contest the crab, but because of that, he's going to get double crabbed here.
Yeah, hold that thought here, Tilted Thomas. Now Althena's in a little bit of trouble. TCL shows mid as well. Nothing's going to come off of that. Still has the flash available, as 12-inch is going to be able to double scuttle TJ already. That's actually really big.
Yeah, and even though it looks like the Pantheon didn't clear his Gromp when he went up there, or no, he didn't clear his Krugs, excuse me. So it's just one camp down now, but both junglers are positioning bot here.
Yeah, here we go. 12-inch gets hit by the body slam there. A lot of damage coming out from the side of A-Barn. Going to be throwing those missing shots, almost hitting all of them, but he's very low, man. They have to be very capable of this. Here comes the TB from Reform Bully. They're going to be looking for IREP, but IREP does have the Deceive ready. Doesn't have much damage, and first blood will go over to TJ So Beast.
Shaco caught in a little pinch there. IREP known for not taking flash on his champions, but when that distortion is down, it's just a Shaco. He's not level 6, he doesn't have any clones yet. He's just kind of isolated on that island. Bully missing the taunt, but they still managed to scrape up the play. Bully getting an assist and just going to walk back up top.
Yeah, very well done there from the side of front to back. I mean, IREP once again hasn't really been punished a whole lot for not having flash. Again, we were talking about his very unique playstyle, right? He refuses to take flash on on champions, and that's why he's playing things like the Shaco and the J4 support, as well as the Shen. Very mobile, tanky champions, but we've been seeing the Shaco currently throughout the entirety of the TCL season. But right there, we see him getting punished without the flash. He did have barrier available, but he was pretty smart to know not to use it. So well played there.
He knew that being trapped down at the bottom part of the alcove there, he wasn't going to make it out of there. So just better to save the barrier for a trade where it's going to get more value out of it.
Yeah, very heads up from IREP, as now he's going to be looking to stop the recall here as he gets hit under the tower. That's definitely something you don't want to have happen. Spirit of Fate gets the freest kill of his life onto IREP, and it's starting to look like things are getting a little rough here for the bot side of Team Footlongs here.
Must be like what happens when you just try to go fish and you end up pulling a swordfish or something and just cuts off your arm. IREP just,
then,
you know,
right?
looking for, yeah, he just tried to find that little bit of poke damage and ended up getting caught under the turret, you know? Everyone has those plays some days, and I guess today it was IREP's chosen day.
Yeah, fortunately, I mean, it was a really greedy play, and, you know, almost has the ignite back up. Barrier on a 3/4 cooldown now, and, you know, the play was just unfortunately greed. I mean, I could absolutely see what he's doing there, but I just don't think, you know, I don't really think it was worth it, you know, stopping A-Barn's back, but you're playing into a Morgana where you can get easily bind, and you already used your escape ability. I mean, you can throw the box down, right, to sort of negate the bind, but just unfortunately wasn't able to get it, as TJ Sobis is now going to be pathing towards the top side. Probably won't get anything out of it, but does have level 6. Can potentially look for a dive, and here we go already. TJ Sobis is taking a lot of damage from Hippogriff already, as they're just going to decide to shove the wave and get a little bit of that pressure, as now there's a play happening in the bot side as well. We can see it right here. Spirit of Fate's getting really low as IREP is getting the kill on the Spirit of Fate. Support versus support. A-Barn's getting a ton of damage onto him. Now we're seeing the power of the Ashe in the laning phase as well. And ladies and gentlemen, IREP making up for that little blunder there earlier on.
Yeah, probably would have been a little bit better to put the kill onto either the Pantheon or the Ashe, but we didn't get to see the full fight happen down there. We just saw a pop-up that he died. At least I did. So he's just gonna take the kill, and, you know, even though it's on the support, that's still a little bit of extra gold for the entire share pool on the side of the Footlongs.
Yeah, 12-inch is going to be able to pick up this Ocean Drake as well, which means we're going to start having that extra health regen on the side of the Footlongs. Very good for them. This will mean it is not an Ocean Soul.
Also won't be an Infernal Soul, as you can tell that's the next one.
Alrighty, so it's either going to be a mountain or a cloud. I like to see it as A-Barn's getting a little bit of damage. Ooh. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide. Toasty's Comet is on the rip today, ladies and gentlemen. It's, Bind misses just a little bit. The box, well played there from IREP. See, this is the power of the Shaco support that we're seeing right here. Even though IREP had two, I wouldn't say big blunders on the bot side. I mean, the kill's going to Morgana, right? You don't really want that on Morgana. As hold on a second, we have a little bit of a fight in the mid lane here. Althena getting rooted up, and here comes 12-inch on the right side here. Going to get a lot of damage on the TJ Sobis now, as the True Shot Barrage just barely flies by Althena. And there's no kills off of Althena now, getting a little bit aggressive onto the low health, low mana Caridian, as now we have even more action in the bot side. IREP getting stunned, rooted, just not being able to play the game that is League of Legends, and now A-Barn is forced to back.
Man, I don't know why I'm the one with the energy drink here. This game is just fight after fight after fight, and I feel like I'm gonna need to mail you like a Red Bull or something to keep up.
Yeah, you might need to, as now there's some more action on the top side as well, but doesn't look like it's going to be able to get any sort of kill out of it. You know, just a happy little trade, but, you know, we have to start looking at these CS numbers as well. Jungle's pretty even, right? You have a healthy lead in the top side as well for Hippogriff, and Althena rocking almost an awesome 10 CS lead. Now there's going to be a little bit of a fight here on the blue side. 12-inch getting a little bit aggressive here. Here comes the flash from 12-inch, going to be able to get himself out of that, as TJ Sobis did have the flash to be able to match it with the body slam, but decides not to go for it. Well played there from the side of front to back.
Was that Who picked up the blue buff there? I didn't get to see what went down. I saw the smite go down a little early, but
It was on the TJ Beast. 12-inch does
okay.
not have it, so we definitely can confirm. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Yep, yes,
Yep.
the blue buff is there already, ladies and gentlemen. I do in fact have eyes. As now, speaking of having eyes, Caridian going in for a little bit of damage onto Alfina is now another fight into the top side as well. Here comes the showstopper from Hippogriff, a flash taunt being used to perform Bully to keep himself alive, and that's absolutely something you want to see from the side of Hippogriff, being able to take control of that matchup.
Yeah, Hippogriff has a lot of control on this top side now. Even with TJ fishing around right here, he's looks like he's just gonna use the Shen TP just to get back to base, but there also could be a fight coming out here.
Wait, this was actually huge from the nice flash from Hippogriff, and here comes Pantheon trying to find a kill, but does not have the flash from earlier. That was a really creative play from the side of front to back there.
Yeah,
wow.
I know a couple Shen players who just really like using their ults like that just in the early phases of the game, just so that they can get back to lane a little bit faster when they don't have the teleport available to them.
Yeah, Alfina's in kill range here as well. Caridian could potentially be looking for it. Here we go, Caridian flashing forward, gonna barely miss the root as he takes a tower shot on the way out. Alfina having to expend the flash, but it was a well worth flash in my opinion, because if that, you're already at the 10 CS lead, right? Pretty healthy 12 CS lead against the LeBlanc. If you die there, that basically evens up the game. So well played from the side of Alfina to be able to keep himself alive. Hawk shot coming into the jungle, probably going to spot TJ. I do believe it did spot him, as now Abrams looking to get a little bit aggressive, but where is that Shaco? You have to ask yourself that. Every single time you're stepping into this lane, you have to ask yourself, where's the Shaco? Where's the Shaco? If the Ashe is stepping up, and speaking of Ashe, a nice level lead here for Tail Whip on the bot side, and this actually has to do in part to the kills that IREP unfortunately gave over to front to back. So Tail Whip getting a level lead here and being able to poke that Ezreal more and more is actually pretty big for him.
Tail Whip also starting with the Doran Shield and picking up a refill pot a little bit after. I know Tail Whip is a big connoisseur of starting the D Shield into Morgana, as you can just walk right onto like a little snippet of the Morgana Black Pool, and you'll actually get back more health than the damage you take.
Hold on a second, the Spirit of Fate going to be flashing forward, missing the bind as well, as now the ultimate comes out, and here comes the Tree Shot Barrage hitting IREP, but what will it matter as Tail Whip is just pelleting arrows here into the side of, okay, hold on, speaking of on the side here, Caridian going to be looking for some sort of play here onto any member, but gets caught up by 12-inch and having to retreat.
Yeah, he ended up trying to find the dive, and what he did find was a pretty upset Pantheon that he's just walking up to the tri-bush like that.
Pantheon's angry, almost has those ferocity stacks ready to go, as now the spear comes out, going to be hitting someone, as now IREP could potentially be in trouble here. He does have the deceive, gets stunned up by the body slam, but is able to walk away, as now 12-inch is posturing. Here comes the enchanted crystal arrow, and here comes 12-inch picking up the kill on a Spirit of Fate. Well played by Tailwind to be able to find that kill in the midst of everything. Is now, here we go, IREP potentially getting caught out, but here comes 12-inch, a nice Gragas casts his A-Barn, Arcane shifts forward into the team, and here comes Tail Whip, able to find a lot of damage. That should be a double kill for them, I do believe. I'm hoping League of Legends will be able to confirm that. Yes, it will be. It is a double kill over the Tail Whip, and now the Footlons are even in more control of this game than they already were.
Yeah, they, it started out with the 2 kills, 2-to-1 kills early on, but they managed to find an additional 3 up on, and now they're sitting on a nice, pretty 3k gold lead, and only 14 minutes into the game.
Really well played, as now we're seeing the gold graph starting to come out here. A healthy 1,000 gold lead here for Tail Whip for the AD carry of Footlongs. This Ashe is going to be absolutely massive. I mean, that's what you want from this Ashe, right? You want her to be able to have that gold, to be able to start scaling faster than the Ezreal, because Ezreal in this current patch is absolutely a ticking time bomb, right? He gets that 3 items, this man's unkillable, he does tons of damage, and you don't really know what else to do. You have to be able to bind him with those enchanted crystal arrows, as now we have a little bit of a scuffle on the top side. Hippogriff getting a little bit aggressive on a Reform Bully, winning the trade entirely. You have to be careful of that level lead on the side of Hippogriff.
Yeah, Hippogriff he was just looking for the recall there. He was recalling on the Warden Bully, biting off a little bit more than he could chew, thinking he could just win the trade, stop the fight, or stop the back, but ends up losing half of his health for it.
Yeah, well-placed taunt there from a Reform Bully as well. Hippogriff was trying to get that stun there with the with the set E. I don't believe I know what that ability is called. I don't play a ton of set, but I can promise you that ability stuns when it hits minions as well as the enemy champion.
I want to say it's like Headcracker or something like that.
I think it's Headcracker. I believe it's Headcracker. Man, all these new champions, right? I know what they do. I just don't know what they're, I just don't know what the ability names are called. It's the set E, basically.
He pulls the thing towards him, and it's just the meme. Now kiss.
Yeah, trying to get a little bit of some smoochies up in the top lane now, trying to get all up close and personal as, once again, take a look at the CS leads, ladies and gentlemen, right? CS leads in everywhere you want them to be. You got Hippo with a sizable lead up on the top side. Once again, Althena doing a lot of work for his team, despite the 0-0 and 1 score line, being able to have that CS pressure onto Caridian. That's very nice. And bot lane, it's really just been the Tail Whip and IREP show here in the bot side. Tail Whip doing so much work here on the Ashe already, as IREP getting a little bit aggressive, as now Aborn's looking for the Arcane shift forward. And for all of you Ezreal players out at home, you don't really want to use your Arcane shift forward, especially if you're Arcane shifting into a Shaco, because there potentially could be a box there. And speaking of potentials here comes 12-inch on the backside with the ultimate there. Well played from 12-inch to be able to find that kill, as now Reformed Bully is now just there. Tried to Shen ulti, but couldn't save anyone. As here comes Caridian on the left side, gonna be looking for Tail Whip, trying to get any sort of damage, and here comes the fight. A nice place ultimate for Spirit of Fate will lock up 12-inch, and potentially could be it for them, as now Reformed Bully on the backside, finding a miraculous kill there on the Tail Whip, and here comes TJ So Beast, as 12-inch will pick up another kill as well. TJ So Beast now looking for IREP. The ulti is good, but there's just a box between him and the Shaco. And ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible fight there for the side of front to back to be able to start putting themselves back into this game.
It was very excellently played. Hippogriff manages to trade the top tower for all of the shenanigans that just went down bot. And it looked like the call there was just to let Abarn just die, because the Shen ulted the Morgana there in the fight. So it was probably just looking to just sacrifice Abarn and salvage whatever play that they could have gotten left from that.
Yeah, Abarn's just getting really aggressive here on this Ezreal currently. I mean, he's doing a really good job of finding the Mystic shots. That's something I've been noticing a lot in these fights. This guy can absolutely hit skill shots, but the Arcane shift forward, a little unfortunate for him. I mean, he was absolutely looking to find that damage, but into Ashe, you definitely want to be able to keep your Arcane shift there for escapes, as now we see once again the level lead on the top side for Hippogriff, trying to get any sort of CS he can before he backs. Is now the next objective going to be the Dragon, as we have a little bit of a scuffle in the mid lane. Here comes the Flash W from Tail Whip, and this could, not Tail Whip, from 12 inches. Althena gets just blown up there from TJ So Beast, as Abarn picks up a kill on the 12-inch as well.
I don't think they were expecting all the damage to come out onto Althena there. Sorry, losing track of my words here. 12-inch just flashing in, finding 3 people. Look for the pick, but with the Duskblade and other serrated dark items that he's going to be wielding, he's not very tanky. He's going to be hurting a lot, and you're not going to want to find him inside of his jungle or yours if you're alone. But if you can just get a numbers advantage there, the Pantheon, as soon as his E drops, the immunity shield, he's going to be taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, the Footlongs didn't have any vision to support that play. We're seeing blue wards after blue wards here on the top side here for front to back. I keep forgetting these team names, there's just so many teams on TCL. Is now here comes the trap squad here from the side of IREP. Going to be throwing down a ton of boxes here, as Tailwind looking to be enchanted. Mr. Arrow will find one. And here we go, 12-inch trying to get TJ So Beast, but there's just so much damage that the Shen shield comes out as well. Tailwind on the backside, doing all that he can to kite. He knows that he's the team damage right now. Caridian finding the kill on the 12-inch as well. And here comes Tailwind. Hippogriff is just already in the back line of front to back, making it a back to front fight, as now front to back has to run away, but here comes Althena looking for any sort of damage, as Abarn, all he has left is the Mystic shots. Caridian, though, potentially looking for the one shot here into Althena. He knows he has the damage, but Althena does spot him there and is able to get the Q and movement speed, and once again the Dragon is going over to the side of the Footlongs and putting them at soul point.
Yeah, Shen, looking at the Shen out there, it was an incredible play from Reformed Bully. It's just his team is just ever so slightly far behind, where getting the taunt onto two people there, while it being an amazing play coming out of him, just won't add up to much. He gets the taunt and then he'll just die afterwards.
Absolutely, and the biggest thing you have to note here within these fights, take a look at Tail Whip right now. 11 in levels to A-Barn at 9, right? And once again, the gold graphs are absolutely showing us the story of this game right now.
Yeah, almost having a 2k gold lead there.
Yeah, I mean, despite those two blunders, right, that the Footlongs had just a couple minutes ago, the CS lead is just absolutely incredible. And did Althea take Futures Market? He has negative gold value. I think he took Futures Market.
I know I ripped it because I saw a little while ago he had like his 200 gold, but...
Yeah, negative 90 gold. He actually took Futures Market. Very interesting rune choice. I'm not sure what the popular runes on that champion are, as now IREP is posturing towards the top side. Reformably has no clue. He's able to set up a box, and now Reformably is able to just walk away. They just weren't ready for it, and we have to also keep in mind this is once again the Moonstone Shaco. Once again, man, that... You know, the more and more I look at the Shaco with Moonstone, it's like, why does this work?
Yeah, I ask myself that same question every time.
It's almost like the Moonstone Lilia thing. You would think it's troll, but it actually works really well.
And the main reason that it works on the Shaco is because his clone will actually get the Moonstone too.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It used to work, I know that. I don't know if they patched it, but yeah, it used to be a thing back when the item changes came out, where you would just get the Moonstone on Shaco, and then all of a sudden, as soon as he ults, you're having 2 Moonstone procs go off at the same time.
I would love to get confirmation on that after this game to see if it works, because that is certainly interesting. I mean, obviously it's not like the most broken thing, but it's really interesting if that interaction actually functions here. We're going to be seeing a Rabadon's Death Cap next for the side of TCL W3D2. He's going for that full one-shot Gragas now. He knows that he's going to be a big source of damage for his team, as Shen does have the tankiness to boot here already with the Titanic Hydra, and now they're going to be going into either the Frostfire Gauntlet or the Sunfire Cape, as now Tail Whip is going to be finding an enchanted Crystal Arrow onto A-Barn, but the Spell Shield barely blocks it. Wow, that was a really nice play Spell Shield there from Spirit of Fate to be able to keep A-Barn alive there. Well played by him.
Yeah, I really like the playstyle that the side of the Footlongs has. They're managing to time the Ashe and Pantheon ults almost perfectly, as to where Tail Whip will guarantee the stun, so that Tail Whip can, so that 12-inch can get the extra bit of Q damage that the extra ult damage they added a couple patches ago, where he throws the spear down and it actually deals damage on impact there, with the follow-up damage being Pantheon.
Ready, well, here comes the follow-up here. Speaking of that, here, okay. Spirit of Fate fighting a really nice bind there on the Hippogriff under the tower. Here comes the True Shot Barrage, and it will find Hippo on the backside. A-Barn showing up with that incredible ultimate here from the Ezreal. Wow, that was a beauty, man. This guy, I know he plays a ton of golf, but that was a hole-in-one right there. Well played there from A-Barn to find that True Shot Barrages. Now we have a little bit of fight as well. IREP barely almost getting tagged by that bind, as 12-inch is posturing to the outside. They have no clue that they're on a ward, though, as now TCL W3D2 is looking to look for 12-inch, and here we go. The assassination attempt for Caridian will find 12-inch as well, and Tail Whip is in a really interesting position. Does have the flash and the heal available to him. He will be able to just walk out, grab the Raptors, and now front to back. Signs of Life going to be looking for the Baron.
Yeah, they're still 3k down. They managed to even out the kills, but they do have a lot of pressure for this now, with 12-inch being dead on the Pantheon.
Yeah, watch the Spirit of Fate there. Here comes the TP on the top side here as well. That's probably going to be Shen, as now the fight starts coming out. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow barely, almost finds A-Barn. A nice place. Arcane Shit to be able to get him out of that, as now here comes the Divine Thunder damage. A-Barn once again on a killing spree. Very low health though. Potentially has to run away, but here comes Hippogriff. What an incredible double kill. 1 punch, 2 kills. That's all you need, baby. Hippogriff on the set, showing up for his team, turning the game around for them once again.
We stand set W. I don't know if you like it, but I enjoy getting hit for 800 true damage.
Oh, baby. Yep, that champion's balanced. You gotta love it, man. I mean, Hippogriff just... What an incredibly placed W there from Hippogriff. Just... They hadn't fought in the choke there, and they already used a lot of those ultimates already in that little skirmish there, but TCL W3D2 does have the ultimate to him almost available, so now Hippogriff is going to be looking for IREP, going to be looking to get some annoyance down, trying to throw the box down, doesn't get it. Now they're looking for Caridian, but Caridian's able to just hop over the walls. The Blast Plant puts IREP in a really interesting position, though. Reform Bully does not know he's there, though. IREP could be looking for some annoyance here in the backside, just pull the ultimate as well. And this is going to potentially be Soul. And there we go. 12 is able to secure it. His teammate, so he throws himself to the Dragon Pit. Tail Whip will find an excellent arrow there onto A-Bard as well, but what more can they get done? The cooldowns are running very low as 12-inch almost gets assassinated. The True Shot Barrage is a little wide there. Trying to find 12-inch, just couldn't get it. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is Soul already for the side of the Footlongs.
25 minutes in, 4 dragons. Elder's going to be spawning up in 5.5 minutes, and they might look to just try to take that, close out a game, but they also have to remember, even though they're 4 dragons up now, it is Elder Dragon. If the blue team can manage to secure that, they're going to be in a very rough position.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, as now Caridian's going to be looking for some damage on the backside of the IREP, but just gets absolutely blown out by Tail Whip. Already has the Kraken Slayer and the Fam Dancer available, and that's a really powerful 2-item power spike there. You know, the Fam Dancer giving you more attack speed the more you hit, up to 4 attacks at a cap. So, I mean, and plus the fact that Kraken Slayer gives you 10% more attack speed per item that you have, you know, it's just a lot. You know, there's a lot of attack speed, a lot of damage. The Kraken is constantly proccing. You have the crits as well, and also the crit being amplified damage for the Ashe, because Ashe can crit, but it's not like a true crit, right? With the passive and what it does. So
yeah, it doesn't do the extra damage, but it does slow just that little bit more. Honestly, it's a very annoying bot lane from the side of the Footlongs there.
Yeah, absolutely, and I sigh because this game is just with how these fights have been going. You know, all this action, right? All this juicy content, you know, in TCL. It's just, these fights are so close, you know. Both teams have been showing signs of strength and signs of weakness, and at this point, despite the 3K gold lead for the side of the Footlongs, this is really anyone's game still.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There's still both of the major objectives up on the map. While the Footlongs do have that 3.5 gold lead, you know, it's all put mostly onto... Actually, no, it's pretty evenly well split up. You have the Set with 3 kills, Pantheon with 4, and the Ashe with 4. The kills are on who they need to be here, so...
It is true, and I mean, once again, right, the CS leads all across the board here. In the lanes that you need them to be, right? I mean, take a look at those gold grass real quick. Hippogriff up 2K gold onto Reform Bully. Whoo, that is one beefy set already, and you know, we take a look at the side of the AD carry, you know, 1K gold lead, 4-1. Tail Whip is just doing so much work in this game. As now this little scuffle on the top side, Hippogriff gonna be looking for a lot of damage onto Caridian. And now here we go, the Stride Breaker having to be used defensively. A-Bard and Caridian are now on the chase. Here comes the Mystic Shots of the minions to start recooling that Arcane Shift cooldown, and Spirit of Fate is also here as well. Hippogriff is walking into 4 people. The Showstopper will potentially get him away. Almost, here comes the W as well, and he buys so much time for his team as Althena is able to get a kill on the bot side, and now they're going to be start sieging the towers here as front to back starts looking for the Baron. This is just such a messy game right now.
I wouldn't call this messy. Hippogriff got caught on the top side. The Black Shield did end up saving Caridian from the Showstopper, but they're just going to be taking over the entirety of the base. This is a trait the front to back is perfectly fine taking. 4 Baron buffs onto the side of blue team for how many? 3 towers already?
Wait,
about to be 4 and 2 inhibs?
Wait a minute, this is absolutely not worth if you're on the side of front to back. The dual Baron's available, but look how many turrets and inhibitors you get for this, right? The Baron will be able to defend for just a little bit of time, but once again, Footlongs just cracking open the map, and I say messy because, wow, there's just action happening everywhere, right? I mean, the execution was right there from Footlongs, right? That they were able to take those towers as they looked for the 1 kill onto Hippogriff at the top side. 1 kill and a Baron for 2 inhibs and 2 towers to crack open the map even more. 4 towers, excuse me. Wow, that's absolutely worth.
That just stimulated their goldie, just that extra little bit. You know, the 300 gold per person from the Baron take on the side of blue is really good, but Tail Whip actually managed to take 2 towers solo by himself mid lane, and then the other members of the Footlongs just running through the bot lane after they picked up that early kill, and now their base is just wide open. They have the Baron buff there to defend it, but how long is that Baron buff going to last against all these super moons?
Yeah, and look at the pushing potential as well. You have Ashe, Victor, and Set, right? Like, these are some champions that have some really good wave clear. I mean, Renan's Hurricane will not be built here for the side. Tail Whip is now Reform Bully having to flash away. almost getting caught up there. So now they're going to be looking to siege the top tower, despite the fact that front to back has Baron. Look at this wave clear. They could potentially be looking for a fight. Here goes Carinian trying to find some sort of pick. We'll go back. The True Shot Barrage gets some great damage on the IREP as now the ultimate comes out for her as well. 12-inch on the backside looking for anybody here as the enchanted Mr. Arrow will find TJ. That's actually what an incredible ult there as now Hippogriff is running amok in the front side here, trying to get any sort of damage on the backline. Here comes the showstopper as well. Tillin finding a kill on the TJ, making himself on a killing spree. Before Bully will get the trade on the Hippogriff. And here we go. It is a double kill over the tail whip, potentially making it a third, potentially making it a fourth as a double kill comes out for 12-inch as well. And ladies and gentlemen, that is potentially all they wrote for this one. Footlongs will be able to take game one of this series.
That was an incredibly back and forth fight. For a little bit there, I didn't know who was going to come out on top, but then you just see all of that damage coming out from Hippogriff. Not even mathematically correct set, by the way.
Mathematically correct set, man. I would love to see that someday in TCL. Wow, what an incredible game there from the side of the Footlongs, being able to get that early game pressure right and just really just playing fundamentally better League of Legends, right?
I couldn't agree more.
We see it within the CS leads. We see it within how they're taking these trades. We're seeing it within the vision. We're just seeing it everywhere here. Footlongs playing, as we said before, very disciplined League of Legends, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, you could look at the towers that were taking that game too. I don't think that the blue side managed to get a singular objective that entire game, while red side, the Footlongs, took everything except the top inhib turret and then the top inhib. They
Wow.
just managed to have those early leads. They managed to break down the towers that they could early. They took that trade for the Baron, and honestly, I think that's what sealed the game. I don't think that the blue team should have decided to try to get the Baron. You may have gotten that gold increase, you may have gotten the Baron buff, but the cost definitely outweighed the rewards.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Thomas. We take a look at these damage graphs here. Hippogriff, wow. What an incredible performance from Hippo on the set. You know, it's just look at all that damage and once again we have to talk about the Ezreal here. Despite the Ezreal being in a really difficult position all game, still ended up doing the most damage on his team as well.
Yeah.
So well played from those sides as well. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We have even more TCL action coming up for you in just a moment here. Once again, TCL is brought to you by our friends over at LeagueSpot, your league, your way. And we will be right back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
And it looks like we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for joining us for this pretty bangers. I know I say like every time I cast, I say it's a banger series, but I mean like every game that like I've seen so far and casted has just been like an incredible game one.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tom, for that. I mean, I got some more caffeine with me because I'm gonna need it. This is some high octane gameplay right here between front to back and the footlongs tier. And Tom, we didn't even mention the true damage dealt last game,
Yeah, I
which is
wanted I wanted to bring it up, but you cut us off. We had Hippogriff posting one of the channels in here. That was how much? 4,000 or 4,600 true damage?
let me take a look here with my young eyes here. I believe that is 4,689. I believe.
469. Yeah, I got a
69.
squint too.
Yeah.
4,469. Nice, by the way.
All right, awesome, excellent. I mean, incredible performance from Hippogriff. You know, just being able to find those miraculous fights, being able to get in there with the showstopper, and finding the W. Which, by the way, I believe the E is Haymaker. As I was
Uh,
going to get my drink, I believe the E is called Haymaker.
no, the W. You
Because
know, I'm looking
is it
this up
Haymaker?
actually.
Yes. Could you look that up for me?
The W is the haymaker. I know that.
Oh, W's Haymaker. Okay. All right. Gotcha. I believe it's just Skull Crusher or something like something generic. You know, some
Yeah.
generic.
His passive is called Pit Grit. You know, the
Okay.
funny two-tone attack that he does. Q is Knuckle Down, where he makes his
Okay.
next two attacks stronger. W is the haymaker, the big true damage that he
Okay.
likes to do, and the big damage to the side. E is Face Breaker.
Face Breaker, and he even says it when he does it. How did I not
Oh
pick up
my
on that,
gosh,
man?
you're right.
He does. He says Face Breaker, and he goes bonk. Like, oh baby, man, you love to see it. Well, as we're waiting, getting into this game here, it's gonna be taking a look at the team compositions. Just talking about just a little bit more. You know, A Barn picking up the Ezreal. I gotta say, he was able to find those Mystic shots, but the arcane shifts were just a little aggressive there. I think they could run it back if they wanted to. They just have to be very careful of the Ash pick once again coming out from Tail Whip.
Mhm. Because you know, as you are in Israel, man, one of the most important things of that champ is position. You know, you want to make sure that you're in line to hit your mystic shots, but you're also an AD carry. You're a very squishy champion. You don't want to get caught out by, you know, the face breaker. You don't want to get caught out by the gravity field. And when you use your face shift like that so aggressively, if you don't have flash up, you're basically just positioning yourself very poorly.
Right. And couldn't have said it better myself. Ezreal having one of the lowest HP. I believe they're one of the lowest HPs out of any AD carry.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's to make up for the range in the arcane shift. Excuse me. As the same three bands from the side of the footlongs. As okay, hold on a second, Tom.
They banned.
Denny's not on Victor. He
We're
can
finally
breathe a
going to be
sigh of
seeing
relief.
something different.
Here we go. Has Denny been preparing anything else? That's the real question I'm looking at right now. Has he been playing anything else? Because
the one thing that I had heard from the side of the footlongs is that they were practicing finally a second team comp.
oh, they were? Okay.
They were.
Well, hopefully we're able to see here is the Shen is just instantly taken away from Hippogriff. Once again, that can be a flex pick because IREP does pick it on the bot side as well. Something to note though, Tom. We glossed over it. The Seraphine is available.
It is.
For Tail
They
Whip.
decided to just, you know, let the side of the footlongs bot lane just run wild this game. They thought that the set was an issue, which, granted, if you look at the damage chart, it very much was an issue. Getting rid of the Urgot again and then the Victor, that's two more comfort picks, and they're going to have to change it up again. I wonder if 12-inch is going to want to run back on the Pantheon?
Could potentially be the Pantheon as well. You're right. You do have the ultimate. Okay, will be the
He
Pantheon.
is going to.
You do have the Stand United with that Pantheon, so I really do like that duo. It's probably going to be going towards the bot side, and here we go. The Senna could be locked in for Tail Whip. I believe this could be the fasting Senna strategy that I love to play and that you hate to play, Tom, as it's going to be an Ornn as well for the top lane. I think, hold on a second, I think they might think that Shen is the top lane.
The Shen could very well be flexed to either the top lane or down to the bot lane. You know, like I said before last game, like I said, you're not fighting that top 1v1 against the Senna Shen. The moment that bot lane hits 6, you know, I doubt that Bully's going to be want to fighting on the Ornn, so whatever his matchup may be. But even if there's a gank coming through, like they're still going to have the numbers. Senna doesn't have to necessarily be in the fight to have an impact with her
Yeah, that's
fucking or
true.
map wide ultimate.
Man, I love Senna so much, man. I know every time I've asked you to play Fasting Senna, you just go, ugh, like Fasting Senna again. But the power is certainly there, right? You know, you can go the Kraken Rageblade build once again that everyone's been going. Despite the lethality changes within her Q, if you have more lethality, it gives you more healing power. But into this team, probably going to be going for the Kraken Rageblade as the Seraphine's being hovered. I don't believe it's going to be taken. I don't think IREP plays it. It also
Well,
could be a.
we'll have
It
to
could be.
see.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
the
Well, they're just gonna go for
Vladimir
the
for
Vladimir.
Althena.
I like this. I always love seeing Denny's Vlad, Althena's Vlad. Excuse me. You know, this guy can absolutely take control of a game if you let him, and Vladimir is one of those champions that does just that. So, the
Very much
Zinzao
so.
being picked up for the side of front to back is now we're weighing the final pick. Will this Shen be top or will this Shen be bot? We're about to find out in just a moment as the clock hits 0. And
I don't know if they meant to lock that in.
I think they have to take it.
It looked to me. Oh, it looks like they're
Oh,
just
okay.
going for the remake here. Yeah, I don't think that doesn't seem like what they would have wanted to pick there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see just what exactly happened here as production starts to figure out exactly what happened. Maybe somebody disconnected, maybe something happened. Uh, I rep
Oh,
no Darius. Okay, so they're picking Darius. Uh, I'm not exactly sure. Oh, he didn't have Darius.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They wanted to pick the Darius here, and he didn't have
Just
it, so it just got forced onto the Gangplank instead.
yeah, that's fair. Just to let everyone who's watching at home know, if you are competing in TCL, make sure you have that stuff set ahead of time, right? So you know, so we don't have any moments like these. But the team comps are basically locked in. We're just waiting on IREP to be able to join the game once again, and there we go. So the team comps are set in stone. Hippogriff is going to be on the Darius, which is something that I'm very excited to see because we've been seeing a lot of these quote unquote low stock top laners popping off with the Darius. Shout out to my man Tokimon Panda for sure on that one. And you know, we've been seeing a lot of this champion that you would think would be like a stomper champion. Like it's more of like an ego check champion in my opinion. But Darius does have some really good matchups, and we've been seeing a lot of people pop off on that. So
Mhm.
uh, we
Yeah.
should be good to go here as both team comps are left open. And Tom, something that I wanted to discuss with you a little bit as we get the draft rolling again. A Barn is on the Jinx, and this is
Mhm.
exactly what I wanted to see from him.
Yeah, he's very good, just hyper carry player. He's got the Janet to enable him there, and the ultimate can be used offensively or defensively. Mostly defensively, just to try to peel off the people that are getting dove. But just a very safe bot lane from the side of Spirit and Fate and A-Barn. Just basically exactly what Spirit and A-Barn were drafted for, just to pick these carries, just having the ability to just try to handshake through lane phase, get the farm that they can, and just have the Jinx be a late game monstrosity.
Yeah, for sure, and especially paired up with the Janna, right? That's actually a really obnoxious landing phase, which is something that Tailwhip is going to have to be very careful of because Senna has a lot of. She's very squishy. She doesn't have much HP earlier on, and if you're just going to get pelleted with the rockets as well as the Janna autos, because Janna's base AD is really interesting for a support. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, you don't really get that. And they're just going to throw their picks in the right order here so we can just get right on to the show. Thank you for your patience, everybody at home. Once again, TCL is brought to you by our friends. LeagueSpot, your league, your way, and you can get your own league today with LeagueSpot.gg. As now everyone is picking their final picks, and they did. Did they actually pick Caridian? I don't think they picked Caridian.
No. They made it
Okay,
down to the B5 there, and I don't think he got time to lock in whatever pick they wanted there. So he's going to be going for the Cassiopeia into the Vladimir.
yeah, that's actually really fair there. Cassiopeia to the Vladimir. That's a Caridian power pick if I do say so myself. I really like that. for Caridian to be able to get that scaling threat, and once again, right, to match the scaling of the Vladimir, because Cassiopeia, as we all know, can be an absolute nuisance if you're good with her.
Hmm.
Right, so
What's
we
like
see the
what's the keystone that people go on Cassiopeia nowadays? Is it
uh
still Phase
probably
Rush?
phase rush. I would assume it's the phase rush. I would also potentially assume that you could also go things like the electrocute for the trading power in lane, but I just don't think it's as popular. You probably also could go the comet as well because it synergizes pretty well with your miasma, right? The
Hmm.
slow um from the miasma. And okay, we are seeing the Shen support. It's probably going to be a fasting Senna strategy. I would assume it's the fasting Senna strategy. It makes the most sense here, because you want that Senna to be able to outscale the likes of Jinx, Cassiopeia, and Ornn. Like,
Hmm.
really good luck with that. Like, there's a lot of scaling once again on the side of front to back's comp, and I think I'm gonna have to stick with my gut here, Tom, and give the draft win once again to the side of front to back. I love Ornn. Ornn makes me very happy. Whenever I have him on my team, being able to further enhance my items, my mythic items, to just make them even more stronger as an AD carry player who is already scaling, and being able to have that ability to be able to scale further. I really like that from the side of front to back, but as I look into the other side, from the side of the footlongs, I I think I love Fasting Senna more, just because of
A little bit of personal bias there.
yeah, a little bit of a personal bias there, but it's Senna and Vladimir basically versus the world, from front to back. They're gonna have to be able to do all that team's damage, right? Hippogriff, absolutely do not sleep on him. Can pop off on the Darius and get ahead and start being an absolute nuisance at these team fights, is running around throwing the axes and whatnot around. But I don't know. I think there's just more from the side of front to back, in terms of like traditional League of Legends. But
Yeah.
once again, can't discredit the composition. I think they're both incredibly good.
I can agree. Like I also like both of these team comps, but I also am agreeing with you that I do think that the foot or not the footlongs, front to back, I like their draft a little more. You have the early game with the Xin Zhao. You have Ornn just going to be sitting top lane, waiting to get level 13 to 17, start crafting his items for everyone, and that's just going to empower their late game even more. The Xin Zhao should be able to just have enough damage early game to help bully on and or not, yeah, to help bully, I guess, but also to bully the other people. You have the Cassiopeia, who is relatively strong at most points in the game, and then you just have the late game security with the Jinx and the Janna. And as soon as the whatever item upgrade, because she's probably gonna go Kraken. I have no idea what the Ornn upgrade for Kraken's called, but just like having
Oh,
those ornaments is going to give them just that slight edge that they might just need in order to get it a win here.
I know the one for Gale Force's Typhoon, but let me actually see here. I want to get a list here
According to
of the
Music X
names.
in chat, it is Wormfallen Sacrifice.
It is Wormfallen Sacrifice. Thank you, Music X. Shout out to you in the chat. Thank you so much for having that. I know he's a Ornn connoisseur. This guy plays so much Ornn, so he would probably know. So thank you, Music X, for that.
Hashtag Ornn main.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with that. I love playing Ornn. Ornn is like my go-to top laner next to Shen and Kennen. Those ones. I know
Oh,
I'm a boring player.
I'll always just remember the days on the Canton team. Coach came over and he's just like, "Hey, we need a mid laner. Tom, you want to try to learn it?" And then every game that I played in scrims, you guys just put me on Ornn mid.
I remember that. I remember that. And shout out to my friend Tubbs. He might not be watching, but Tubbs, I love this guy, dude. This guy, just a little bit of a personal story here because we do have a lot of personal history with these players. When we were at a LAN event in Albany, right, for ECAC, it was for Hudson Valley GamerCon. I remember we got mopped game one, and we were thinking about differences in the draft that we could have made. And this man, I kid you not, just looks at me dead in the face and says, "I want to play Kled." And we were just like, "Wait, Kled mid?" And he's like, "Yeah, why not?" And we let him have it. We let him play Kled mid, and he destroyed the enemy mid laner. And I remember the mid laner after the game, like he was like a diamond one, like Masters tiers player, walks up to him and says, "Please don't ever play that into me again. That was so hard. Like, that was so difficult to play into." Like, so, you know what, man? You can always make things happen, right? Play your League of Legends. I will never forget when Captain Flowers shook my hand and told me that before he left to go do his shoutcasting stuff. Speaking of shoutcasting, Tom, we got a job to do. We are on Summoner's Rift, and yes, it will be the Fasting Senna. I am very excited to see it.
Ugh. I'm excited to see it. I'm not really that excited to ever play it, but that's just because, you know, I've been playing support and jungle for like 4 years now. CSing is kind of foreign to me. And especially when I'm getting pelted on by 2 people in lane when I walk up as Cho'Gath to try to like get a minion. Like, yeah, I'm getting that little heal back, but I'm also taking like 100 damage from autos.
Yeah, man, I guess we'll have to whip you into shape for next season, because we're going to start getting those Fasting Senna games then, Venom.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Oh, absolutely. I know you are. I can feel the resentment of that from you all the way over here. Uh, miles and miles and miles apart, but yes, I can feel it as this game, I gotta be honest with you, Tom, it's gonna be explosive. I mean, we have the team fight tools all across the board, right? We have the Pantheon Ultimate, the Ornn Call, the Forge God as well. TJ's on rocking the Zinzao as well, the champion we've seen so much from him. You know, Denny, Althena, not playing the Victor. I love to see it, you know, having to play something a little bit different. So I'm very excited to see if he's practiced on other champions. I'm sure he's been keeping up with it in practices and whatnot. But once again, right, it's not Victor. I'm sure he's very happy to be relieved of that pick. And we're getting into game, and it's looking pretty standard already all across the board for runes and builds. Magi's, though, for Althena, though, that is something to note. I don't know if that's standard, but that is something to be very cautious about.
I think it's fine for the Vladimir to go here. You know, he has a lot of healing in his passive already with his Q. Yeah, I think it's just his Q healing, not his passive healing. But yeah, he's just gonna pick up the refillable potion with it too. Dark Seal giving him the extra little bit of healing from it. And it looks like in the top side, it's the same story as last game. But Bully learning not to try to contest a level 2 Darius in a wave.
Yeah, I like a reformed Bully playing very disciplined here. Something that I do want to kind of elaborate on very quickly, Tom. We talk a lot about the Fasting Senna, but I'm sure we have some people in chat that is like, what is Fasting Senna exactly? Well, Senna as a champion, hold on here as we get to the bot lane. A little bit of a bot lane scuffle here. Taylor getting a lot of damage from the A-Bar, and A-Bar's just a little bit too far up. Having to use the heal to sort of counter out the IREP Ignite, and A-Bar really aggressive here in this bot side, just getting absolutely punished by Tail Whip, and we see right there. So I'll make this very, very quick, because once again, explosive fights here happening in the bot side. Basically, Senna has 2 different ways to be played. You can either play her, or technically 3. You can play her as an ADC, which is where she takes the farm, right? The little minion voice that you see in your lane. She can be a support, which she basically is used to heal for the team. Or you can play her in the Fasting Senna strategy, which basically means she does not take the farm, but instead, when minions die, there's a chance for there to be a little bit of a soul right there. So the soul gives you a percentage of AD. I forget the exact number. It's like 0.6 AD or something like that for each soul. And once you get it, it gives you 3 gold and it gives you that stack. Every single 20 stacks of souls, you are able to get an auto attack range buff as well as a buff to your Q. Is now holding that thought. Yeah, a little bit of action. TJ is trying to find Tail Whip, as now here comes the root from Tail Whip, trying to find any sort of damage here left. Getting the Piercing Darkness on as well to be able to heal himself, and nobody dies miraculously on the bot side, as now here comes 12-inch. TJ Sobis looking for Tail Whip already, finding the root once again. IREP and Tail Whip are right there for, excuse me, I meant to say 12-inch, and it's first blood for him already within this game.
Yeah, not having the vision there in the river led to Pantheon being able to just walk down there, not being seen, and looks like TJ took the bait there of the Senna just walking back up, blows his flash and his E, he had no chance of getting back out of there. Pantheon just gets to walk down, hit the funny point-click stun button, pick up a kill for his team.
Oh, and did I forget to mention that Senna also not only gets attack damage, not only gets permanent attack range, but she also gets critical strike chance with her souls, which, by the way, if you exceed the critical strike cap,
Well,
You
we
get
got two fights going on
lifesteal.
here.
And speaking of getting things, Hippogriff is getting a face full of TJ So Beast. There it is, picking up a kill on the top side to make up for that first blood. As I'll stop talking about Fasting Center. You get the point. The champion doesn't farm. Basically a support with an AD, but hold on just a moment. Tailwhip is actually buying
He's
Tear
got the
the
tier,
Goddess.
yeah.
Is he going for man? Okay, so he's definitely going for Manamune, but
No, he's going
potentially
Seraph and Base 100%.
Is he going Divine Sunderer?
Well, we'll have to see, because, you know, he's probably just he's gonna hold on to the tier for a bit. He's got the longsword right now. So it's kind of inconclusive as to tell, you know, that could go into a Noon Quiver, could go into a Sunder. We'll have to just wait and find out.
The interesting thing about Fasting Center, though, I know I said I would stop talking about it, but we're gonna keep talking about it, because I love it. Being able to have the support item and the 100% base mana regen allows you to be able to have technically more mana, right? Because you're constantly getting that mana regen from the support item, so you're able to throw out more abilities. The thing with the Fasting Center, though, is not really your abilities, it's more so your auto attacks, right? Because the auto attack range, and you're able to just hit them for a lot, being able to get the movement speed from the passive as well. Every auto that lands, you get more movement speed. Coupled with the fact that he has Glacial Augment as well, and probably, I'm blanking on the rune. The one that makes you go fast when your opponents are CC'd by a slow or by hard CC or anything like that.
Approach velocity?
Thank you. It's approach velocity. You know, I play so much of it, and I never actually stop and look at the little rune names, but you basically get the point. Tailwhip is going a really interesting build, and I'm excited to see what it builds into.
Same here. But looked like red team. Oh, we got a little bit of a trade going on in the bot lane there. But red side looked like they were positioning towards the dragon there with the Xin walking over, but not gonna go for it. They probably knew the Pantheon was gonna be around the bot side of the map. Didn't want to coin flip it, so we have TJ just gonna walk back into his jungle, looking for a reset, try to get a little bit stronger than the Pantheon in terms of items, get back onto the Rift, and I want to see what he does after that.
Yeah, there's just some really interesting happenings here with this game already as we see a nice little gold lead here from the side of the Footlongs. We see it within the CS leads currently. In the top side specifically, right? Once again, Hippogriff taking a lot of control of the lane here. So now we have a little bit of a trade in the bot side. Once again, Tailwhip getting chunked very low there. We have to be able to respect that HP difference between the Jinx and the Senna. Once again, the Piercing Darkness being able to heal her and whoever steps in that little line of fire as well. So pretty standard stuff on both sides, right? Junglers, you know, doing the early game aggression thing, not really farming as much as now.
Might have some action pop though. Bully getting a little aggressive.
Oh, we will be. Hippogriff is getting really aggressive here on this top side. Does not have the flash available. See you later. Unfortunately for Hippo, getting a little bit too lost in the sauce there. Shout out to my homie. Dies there to make a 0-2, and now TJ being 2-1, putting his team up on the board. 12 is trying to trade it back with the Dragon.
Yeah, making the smart play. They realize that the jungler's top side. He's not going to have any way to get back down in time for this dragon. Lanes are in a pretty good spot for him to be able to do this too, so Pantheon's just going to look to solo it. But TJ looking to trade back the dragon for the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I actually like this adaptation here from TJ, being able to find the kill and find the Rift Herald. Once again, the dragon being a permanent buff. Will be Ocean Soul, no, excuse me, it will not be Ocean Soul once again. It will be the Ocean first Drake. Production, could we just take a look at the drag pit real quick just to see what our options?
It's win next.
It is win next.
Top left.
Oh, you can, that's the thing in the top left!
I made the same mistake on my last cast,
that.
Don't worry.
Tom, I never, did you say that last cast?
The last cast I did, I was like, oh, we don't have any timers for it. And then like 20 minutes later, I looked up and saw that there. And I'm like, oh, I guess we do have a timer.
No shot. Okay, so it will not be a Cloud Soul in this game. That's great, because it will either be an Infernal, and excuse me, Althena gets a nice kill on the Caridian as well. Well played from him. Excuse me, 12-inch to be able to find that kill, putting Althena ahead already. Great work from the Footlongs to be able to get that trade kill there for them.
Another thing just to mention real quickly, that gank top lane that happened with TJ and Bully getting the kill on Hippo. Hippo doesn't have teleport. He went for the ghost to try to get like a lane Bully summoner spell set up. And another thing is that Bully didn't have to use Call of the Forge God. He actually saved his ultimate there, knowing that they would get the kill without it. So he does still have that up now. Darius has the ghost in response if it's used. and his flash as well, but like there's still a lot of really easy kill setup topside for Reform Bully and TJ.
Yeah, another thing, speaking of Hippogriff as well, he has the Sheen with him. I'm not sure what exactly he's going to be building. He could be going for a Trinity Force, which is, I feel like it's a little outclassed by Stridebreaker.
I would have, yeah.
Yeah, so the Sheen is just there as now TJ Sobee's popping for the bot side as Tail's going to be looking to grab some souls, some slurpees as I like to call them, as Amon's pelleting IRAP with some offensive zonas. Here we go, an explosive fight now. An excellent ultimate from Spirit of Fate, and now Reform Bully in the fray. Does have the Call of the Forge God available, but Abarn is too low to be able to find any sort of fight.
Yeah, started out with a really good play from the side of the, not the footlongs, the front to back. You know, they got the Rift Herald down, and they looked for a little more, calling down Bully to teleport. Abarn just getting poked out there. I don't know if he expected the taunt into the Pantheon ultimate. So now it's just going to look like Caridian walks back top to cover the wave that Bully's missing. Bully's getting the mid wave as he walks back up. But that is a Darius with Ghost. You got to be careful with this.
Hold on a second. This could be a 1v1 from here. Caridian finding an excellent Petrifying Gaze there. And now here we go! Hippogriff finding a solo kill to Caridian with the flash dunk there. Well played from Hippogriff once again, and now he's going to be able to get out because here comes TJ Sobeast on the right side as the ultimate, the Super Mega Death Rocket, not finding Hippogriff. Wow, what a great
play.
play.
To back off the bush that was...
What'd you say, Tom? You cut out there for me.
Oh, I said it was a smart play to walk out of the bush that was warded. You know,
absolutely.
It diverted the TJ Sobeast from coming up and stopping the recall, and it made the Jinx use ultimate, trying to get the kill there, but not able to find it.
Iris just running into the bot lane here of front to back now. Just saying, I don't care, you can hit me with whatever you want, as it looks like that Tailwhip is going to be going for the Divine Sunderer this game with the tier. Hang on a second. Tom, take the wheel here for a second. I'm going to do some research as to exactly this build, because this has me hold that thought. Actually, Tailwhip is getting right into the thick of it here, misses the W. I look away for a second, Tom, and things are happening.
That's okay, I'll let you know if you need to come back for anything else when you look that up, but yeah, it's definitely an interest. Oh, we do have a fight in the top
don't worry,
side
man.
now.
Yeah, I'm looking on the right side here. Hippogriff getting a little bit aggressive, but here comes the Standing Knight. This could potentially be a kill. Here comes IREP. Hippogriff almost barely finds the kill. IREP is able to take it, as now Reform Bully has to use the Q and walk away. The signature, I'm Ornn, I hit Q, you get slowed, I run away tech.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at my monitor.
Alright.
And something's happening already.
Hippo's just looking back for another trip. I can take over or shot calling for you if you want me to.
That's alright, man. I'm keeping an eye on it. Speaking of keeping an eye on things, we have to take a look at the CS count currently here as Tailwhip once again getting a little bit aggressive on the A-Barn. Production has the soul check available. 57 souls already currently on the Senate. It is 13 minutes of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Now at a very comfortable 59 souls, excuse me. This Senate is scary.
Yeah, one off another big spike for the soul stacking. You know, when she gets 60 souls, she's gonna get that extra attack range. Soon enough, like, she's just gonna be able to start outranging the Jinx with her rocket form. Maybe not as, you know, Jinx is max and Q. But eventually, you know, the longer this game goes on, she will get to that point.
Right, couldn't agree more, my friend. I'm taking a look into these builds here. I'm seeing more of the Kraken Slayer.
Irep finding the taunt on the Spirit of Fate. This could be a pick.
Yeah, Irep getting really aggressive on the Spear, almost finding the killers. Now they have to run away here, finding an excellent W to Caridian. Here comes the ultimate from Tailwhip to try to keep Irep alive, and here we go. 12-inch is in the thick of it, flashing forward onto Caridian once again. But look at TJ Sobeast on the backside, finding the kill onto Tailwhip, and now this gets mauled by the entirety of the Footlongs. Well played from them to be able to find those kills, and just take a look at that team play from 12-inch to be able to get there with the ultimate.
Yeah, that was a 1-for-3 trade, and they're just going to be able to get the Dragon off that, too. Really well played by Irep, you know, knowing the strengths of his champions, knowing how far he could go in, having the Senna there to support him. But, no, yeah, they're just going to look to take the Dragon here. We have the Shen recalling, going back to base. He already has Frozen Heart and CDR boots completed. That Shen's up in Scoff right now. He's even up in farm on the Jinx.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you take a look at these CS numbers once again, right? Althena being up a sizable 10 almost. As you take a look at the gold counts here, this fasting Senna is basically on par with gold with the 100 CS Jinx, despite having 14 CS and all of the assists, the 1 kill, and all of the souls that she's picked up already. So you can kind of already see and understand, right, where this is going for the Senna. The power doesn't really come from the gold. The power comes from the stats she gets with the souls. But pretty well-rounded all around. I mean, we're taking a look once again at Hippogriff. Potentially trying to find some vision. Bot side once again getting a little messy here as they're looking for some more trades. Pretty standard stuff though, I will say, as IREP decides he wants a little bit more. Going right in on the Spirit of Fate. Tailwhip is just a little too far behind there, not able to get anything else left from it. And it will be stagnant once again for the bot side.
Yeah, just, you know, normal stuff. IREP's just going to be looking to try to find the picks where he can, try to make the enemy team use their resources to bot side. And then, you know, once those resources are used, they can just call down 12-inch and just say, hey, you know, we got a flashless Janna here. You want to hit her with your funny R button?
Okay, so I'm taking a look here, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And the Divine Sunder build is actually a thing. It's interestingly enough, I'm not seeing any tiers being built. This could just be a tail whip adaptation here. I actually like that a lot. But the build looks like it's going to be Divine Sunder into Black Cleaver, into either the Rage Blade or the Rapid Fire.
Oh, they're finding a pick on the Hippogriff.
Yeah, Hippogriff getting the Stinny 9. Here comes Irem trying to find the kill on the TJ So Beast, as now goes right back in. Call of the Forge Gods being used. Knocks up 2 members, and here comes the rocket from James getting a lot of damage as well. Reformed Bully and TJ So Beast are in a very not okay spot as Althena picks up another kill, and Caridian just is in a really illegal position right now. Finds the Petrifying Gaze on the 12-inch, could potentially find the kill, just barely. Oh, he will get the shot then actually. This is really good for Caridian. Wow. Well played there from Caridian. I really thought he was going to be dead there. More, but I guess not. Well played.
Yeah, and that wasn't even any burn items. That was just straight Cassiopeia passive replacing, just dealing a lot. But it looks like they do trade the turret bot side for the play that they make top.
The Tailwhip is getting a little aggressive here. Almost, you know, sees the turret falling, but decides to stay for just a little bit more. It's now going to be looking for some vision score. And the bot lane, a front to back, will just back.
Yep, and Senna's just going to sit there, try to get the souls, push the wave back up. Shen just gets to walk back down and get the farm. Now we'll see if the side of the front to back is able to swap their lanes. It looks like the Jinx is going to be going top side. And it looks like they just want to send her up there with the Janna, try to break down the turret. It's going to be hard for Darius to try to fight up against the bot lane too.
Yeah,
he's already far enough behind, and he has the Merc Treads too, so the Jinx is just going to get to unload damage with her autos.
Item spikes are absolutely coming through here for both teams. Mythics completed almost across the board. Spirit of Fate, fortunately not having the Mythic yet. Going to be getting it very soon though. As we take a look at the Mythics from the side of the Footlongs. Once again, forgetting the names of the teams, even though I've been casting literally all night. Frostfire Gauntlet here for IREP. Actually like this adaptation. And hold on a second, IREP took... Wait, we are 18 minutes into this game, Tom, and IREP took Flash. We didn't even notice that.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. Flash has become so... Yeah, Flash has become so standard on literally everyone in the game that, like, I completely forgot that it's IREP and that he did take Flash.
Oh, but they're looking up here at the top side.
Oh, wow. What an excellently placed choppers there from Abarn to be able to get 12-inch away there. Barely finding him. Just not placed as well as the Mastery comes out. But Abarn, hold on a second. Abarn, you could potentially be walking right into a Pantheon. And that's exactly what's going to happen as Spirit of Fate now able to find the Tornado to be able to save him. Really aggressive positioning from Abarn there. Almost costing himself his life with the Mastery spam.
Yeah, but then his Spidey sense came up. He realized something was up when he saw the other bot lane who was top, or walk up, and just getting out of there. You know, Janna was still available in case the Pantheon did manage to catch the Jinx, and probably would have been the only thing used, but thankfully nothing was used there other than the Pantheon. They just went a little short at the start of it.
Yeah, and now you got me really curious here. I'm looking at all these statistics for the Senna stuff. I've just been really on to the Senna tonight, I guess, but you can really pair it with things like the Maokai and the set as well. It's a really popular build. As we've been seeing us hold that thought here. Now TJ Sobee's going straight into Tail Whip, being able to find the ultimate. Here comes the standing 9 on Tail Whip as well. A massive shield, and here comes the fight. TJ Sobees is just right in the backline. Call the Forge God, unfortunately, is right behind everyone, being a threat in the backline right now. They have to make a decision right now, and the decision will be the Drake, but I almost said TFT, holy moly, front to back, have to reposition, and here we go. 12 inches right onto Caridian, does find the kill onto him as well. Hippogriff will find the kill onto Reform Bully, and they will decide not to go further, but instead get the Mountain Grid.
Yeah, it looked like they got a little greedy on the side of front to back there, trying to get the fight. You already lost 2 members of your team, or you lost 1 member of your team before, and it was the only member that took Smite. So you'd really just be hoping for a Miracle Seal, and then 2 more get to die after that, just because, you know, they thought they saw a glimmer of hope, but it wasn't what they should have been looking for there. They should have just realized that the dragon was gone, you don't have a Smite to secure it, or try to get a steal with it. You should have just walked away, gone back to your lanes, farmed it up a little bit, and try to make up for the advantage that dragon is going to give you.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself, Tom. Really great analysis from you there. Props to you for that. As we start taking a look at the item spikes once again, Divine Sunder will be it for Tail Whip, potentially going for the Mana Move next. I do like that adaptation for them. It will not be the Kraken Slayer, so it is fine. Rocket Belt coming the way for Althena, as well as the Trinity Force for Hippogriff. That's the biggest one to me. I still think Stride Breaker is really valuable into this team. But, I mean, I don't play a lot of Darius, but just being able to have that dash that slows as well to be able to catch up to them. You already have Flash Ghost, right? So what's one more little dash for you to be able to get into the face of the likes of Apebarn and Spirit of Fate? As, speaking of Apebarn and Spirit of Fate, they're going to be looking to push this mid lane up as well. Hippogriff finding a little bit of a tussle here on the top side against Reform Bully, as TJ Sobees now posturing towards the top side as well. Could potentially be looking for Hippogriff. Have no clue if he's still there or not. Hippogriff has no clue that TJ is there, actually, so looks like he is going to be looking to go into lane. The minions are there. TJ Sobees, we've seen this time and time again, finding these little advantages here, finding little pocket windows to be able to get it. Here comes the Call of the Forge God as well, will land right onto Hippogriff. Hippogriff potentially has no way out, as the ultimate from the Senna and the Stand United potentially comes in, and here comes Irep once again. The Super Mega Death Rocket will find Hippogriff, and here comes 12-inch. He's right in the thick of it. Hippogriff is on a killing spree once again, and TJ Sobees had an excellent window there to kill them. The shielding from both the Senna as well as the Shen just deny everything that front to back want to do here.
And that's what we were talking about in Shakam Select, right? Like, it looked very dire for Hippogriff, but just the ability of his team to get to him very quickly. You have the Senna ultimate coming in from downtown. You have the Shen ultimate coming. You have the Pantheon. Like, he has all of his teammates there with him. But there is a little scuffle happening on the Baron now, as it is below half health.
And they decide to be able to turn the Spirit of Fate, getting really aggressive, having to use the Flash once again. Abarn very low in mana, that is very important. It's now Caridian Flash is right onto Irep. Yeah, trying to look for it. That's a lot of damage onto Irep. Could potentially be dead. Having to use the summoner that he hates the most, and here we go. Caridian now in a 1v4 situation, gets caught up. Tail Whip picks himself up another one. And Tilted Tom, this is looking very dire here from the side, the front to back. How will they manage to find a way back into this game?
Yeah, that was very well played by Irep there. You know, he did have to use the flash, but he lived on death's door and he managed to wait just long enough for the rest of his team to walk back up. Was going to ask for a Senna soul check on production, but you can see there 104 souls at 24 minutes.
Wow, yeah, this Senna's starting to really get there. And again, right, we're only at the 23-minute mark. This game could potentially go longer than that, and we're going to be seeing the Senna scaling even more. Senna, once again, is a champion, you know, it's like Veigar, right? Veigar, Nasus, you know, the infinitely scaling champion. Sion, heck, you could even say Thresh if you wanted to, right? Those types of champions are like ticking time bombs. The longer they're in the game, the stronger they become, right? So your window to be able to fight back against these champions is to beat them early. Well, unfortunately, it's not really a whole lot of that strategy being shown here from the side of front to back, right? You have champions like the Jinx and like the Cassiopeia, where you want to kind of sit back and scale for a little bit, but Furlongs are not letting that happen.
Yeah, I'm also getting a sense of deja vu from last game. You know, there's a lot of kills coming out right now, as you can clearly see, 15-5. But this is, again, another 3 early Drakes going to the side of the Footlongs. They're already on Soul Point, and Dragon
Yeah, but
spawning in 30 seconds.
yeah, we take a look though as front to back have control of this Dragon Pit already, so this could potentially be their Drake, but once again, we take a look at the kills, we take a look at the gold, and we take a look at the item advantages on every single member of the Footlongs. They can surely win this fight, but they have to be very careful around the ultimates of the Call of the Forge God, as well as the Spirit of Fate ultimate as well with the Petrifying Gaze, as they're going to look to Death Brush here. 12-inch, potentially waiting right into the Waiting Arms. Is going to be walked right in. Here comes the Death Brush. We're already on it. Here comes the ultimate coming out from Taylor up on the side. Before Bully will get the Call of the Forge God onto 2 people, but the damage is just simply not there. Here comes Althena, making a muck of the backline already. It's a double kill for Hippogriff as well. And whoo, baby!
That's a
Wow,
clean
what
ace.
a white!
That
Tilt
was
top. What just
incredibly
happened?
well played. An amazing fight is what happened. You could see the side of A-Barn, they had the death push set up. They were waiting for someone to walk up, but 12-inch coming in with the Edge of Night spell shield. And then the great reaction time for him to immediately put up his E, block all the incoming damage. Senna ult follows it up. They just managed to turn that fight around so fast and so well.
I'm at a loss.
Yeah, it
go
was
ahead, Tom.
insanely. No, they're just gonna pick up the dragon off that and then immediately turn to the Baron. They're on Elder now. They have the Baron push. It's 20-5, and it's not even 30 minutes into this game yet. There's a 10k gold lead.
The damage is just simply not there for the side of front to back, right? They try to get that cheesy rush, which if that play works, the game is swung. Like, the game is completely swung, right? They have a chance to get back in it, but it's just not there. The damage is non-existent, right? The Jinx has not hit 3 items yet. The Cassiopeia is, despite the 2 items, right, hasn't hit the 3rd item power spike yet either. And right,
She also hasn't completed stacking her tier yet, so even though like she is on the Seraphs, it's not up to Archangels yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just looking really dire here for the side of front to back as we get another turret here as well. IREP is looking for the 1v1 Bully as the support player here. Well, technically, you know, not technically the support player because he's farming. That had to go to tail whip, but once again, we take a look at the composition, a little advantage here. In terms of the fact that the scaling champions have already scaled and front to back just have no scaling currently happening right now in comparison to Footlongs.
Yeah, this team is the team for Footlongs is, or not Footlongs, for front to back is, you know, you have the Jinx, you have the Cassie, you want those to be powerful late game, but they don't have any real advantage. Jinx is only at 2 items, you know, she's working on her 3rd, she's got her boots. Cassiopeia's 1-6 without a fully stacked tier. They just haven't hit their power spikes yet, and the way this game is going, I don't know if they're gonna get the chance to get there.
Yeah, and A-Bard has no mana as well, so they're gonna have to reset back for this. Probably gonna be a Lord Dominic's Regards coming out here for A-Bard, and that's probably what I would imagine is what's gonna happen here. Could potentially get an anti-healing item as well, for the ample amounts of healing that the side of the Footlongs currently have. But it's basically just a waiting game at this point, right? I mean, Footlongs are absolutely in the driver's seat, right? They have
100%.
all of the time. They have 11k, or 12k, excuse me, up 20-5. This game is just, it's all about the Footlongs right now, as they're going to be able to siege this tower, potentially look for a pick Iridian, potentially almost getting caught out, or he could have been caught out, excuse me, if they had the cooldowns available to them. They just got to be very careful of this positioning right now. If you are a front-to-back fan, you have to be able to watch A-Barn and Caridian on the positioning right now. Those two are going to be the ones that have to make the damage come out, and it's going to come with great positioning.
Jinx also, I don't know if you noticed, she had the last Whisper, she sold it, and then she just now rebought it.
Huh. Well, probably thought to go for something else, I would imagine. Probably thought to maybe potentially look for a different item, but yeah, decided to, you know, I'm sorry, I'm trying to explain it. I really can't. but I'm sure there was a reason for it, or it could have
Yeah, there
potentially
there
been
had to
this
be
one.
some sort of thought process there.
Oh, it's Tailwind!
But
Tailwind could be caught! Does have to use the flash, but here comes the root. Doesn't find A-Barn. Wow, Tailwind getting his flash blown for free right there. As now, here comes A-Barn here, getting the wave cleared. And this is something that we completely forgot to mention here. Is the call of the Forge God is there. DJ still beats in the backline. Tailwind could potentially be caught. This could be good. Here comes the Stand United. And now, here comes the compositional advantage. Hippogriff is in the back line making the muck of it, as well as IREM. A-Barn's in a really bad spot. Here comes Althena as well. He is godlike. You just cannot kill the footlongs. There is so much healing. Where is the anti-heal right now? Tailwhip is going big right now. IREP barely will fall as well. And this could potentially be all she wrote for that one once again. Ladies and gentlemen, the footlongers will be knocking on the door of Team Front to Back.
yeah, they don't have the Baron buff anymore, but they're at the point right now where they don't need it. The only thing between them and ending the game right now is a Jam.
And here comes the flash. 12 inches is gonna. Okay, all right. Spirit
Well,
cannot
they
play the game.
they got rid of the thing that was blocking them from the boxes.
Alrighty. And here comes TJ So Beast and A-Barn. They could potentially look for this now. They have to look for the reset. A-Barn has to look for the reset here. The zap goes wide. Here comes Althena. Oh, Althena is legendary right now. A-Barn cannot step up to Althena right now. He does not need to play the victor. This man can play anything, and he will pop off. That's the Althena I know, and that's the Althena I love to see.
Same here, same here. Front to back just barely clinging on now. Managed to turn the fight around. Blue side didn't have the wave that they needed in order to end the game there, with all the respawns coming back up for the side of front to back. Second ornament coming out, going to Caridian, getting the Luden's Tempest.
They have to be very careful though. The Drake is spawning in just 11 seconds. And here comes IREP, could potentially find A-Barn. The taunt comes out, but A-Barn unfortunately not able to find the blast plant to be able to get himself some damage. And here comes the ultimate as well. From Tailwhip, doesn't really get a whole lot, but Caridian though, as now 12-inch finds another kill. He is on a rampage. IREP looking to just taunt A-Barn where he stands, as here comes Althena. Could potentially be looking for the turret dive. Decides not to go. He knows that there is a tower there still, but here comes the footlongs. They are knocking at the door once again, trying to find it. Here comes TJ So Beast. Could potentially be looking for Althena, but Althena, there's just so much healing for him. You have to be very careful, as the Senna is there as well, and they're looking to end the game right now. This could be really good. 12-inch jumps right onto A-Barn and gets absolutely one-tapped here. Reform Bully, what can you do, my man, but watch your Nexus fall. Ladies and gentlemen, the footlongs will sweep the thought of best team in the league from front to back. Ladies and gentlemen, discipline will get you wins.
Discipline does work, you know. This isn't the same team comp that they've practiced for 30 games in a row, but these are all champions that they were all used to playing already, and they showed off all of the skills that they needed to show off. Won the game they didn't even need the Elder buff. They got to the Elder Dragon and they can just end the game without the execute there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, they didn't even need Elder. I mean, Elder was the win con for team front to back, but you just look at the gold and look at the items and look at the damage coming out from the footlongs there. It's just so much. You know, I could take a look and see what this damage graph is going to be. A-Barn once again doing as much as he can, even out damaging the likes of the Senna. But wow, Althena
Yeah.
on the Vladimir. This guy, man. I mean, you know what? They were colluding this entire time. They
Yeah?
put Althena on Victor every single game for this moment. We wait till they ban it and they bring out the Vladimir. Well played from the side of the footlongs here. Tom, I'm gonna let you pick the MVP for this match because it's gonna be so hard for me to pick because wow, just incredible performances all across the bat here.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very tough pick, right? Hippo had a very good showing in game one. Game two, you know, he wasn't as impactful, but he still managed to hold on. He did what he needed to do for his team. Uh, I kind of want to give this to 12-inch. I'm thinking.
Okay. Like it, yeah. I could agree. 12-inch being a threat in both games, right? Being able to find those leads in the early game as well, setting up kills for the entirety of his team. Let's bring him in here for a little bit of an interview. My old solo queue coach, man. You love to see it. I mean, you still got a lot to learn from the people who've coached you, and 12-inch certainly has that. So we're gonna be waiting for him to be able to get in here. I unfortunately cannot bring him in. We're just waiting for production. If you could bring 12-inch in here, and there he
There he
is,
is.
12-inch Raymond, my old solo queue coach. It's great to see that even after all these years, even after you go into mobile games, man, you still got it.
Oh
Congratulations
boy.
on your win, man.
Thank you. I'd like to shout out Mama Knowles for the buff. She wished us good luck, and as soon as I screenshotted that, I knew it was over.
She
Oh
said she
no,
won through
man.
checking the mail in chat, by the way.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Make sure you pay her. By the way, right? I get a little bit of an insight here. I know what my mom is rigging the TCL stats here. But 12-inch, once again, congratulations on your win. Talk to us a little bit about what this team is doing to look so cracked, even against the likes of Team Front to Back, which was perceived to be one of the best, if not the best, teams in the league. Tell me a little bit about that.
so, first of all, I'd like to say, to quote Quantic, just ban their champs XD, right? So they banned the Victor, they banned the Set, they banned the Urgot, our most practiced champs. Hey, anybody who knows my boy Denny knew that he had the Victor on deck or the Vlad on deck. No one saw it coming.
Yes.
Boom, slap. We practiced the Aatrox so people would ban it over the Darius. Boom, slap. And I told front to back straight up. I said, if you guys don't ban the Pantheon, I will take y'all to town with it.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Do you think Abarn was sitting at the Nexus thinking about his life, or do you thought did he think he was gonna get one shot there? Nah, he didn't.
Oh.
Now he does.
Oh man. I mean, 12-inch, your Pantheon has always been your staple champion, going all the way back to seasons of old, man, even with the rework Pantheon giving everyone a little bit of a scare. I know in our little bit of a friend group, like, oh man, Pantheon now it's a skill shot. How is Raymond gonna be able to play it? But you showed up. You showed up tonight, man. And
Mm.
Pantheon Jungle as well, which is not really it's a good pick, but it's not really much of a meta pick. And this once again goes back to that old saying of play your League of Legends, right? Play your competitive style and winning the games through your favorite champions. So yeah, man. I mean, congratulations once again. Is there anything you'd like to say to those viewing at home and to your opponents next week?
If I can win a game with lethality Pantheon jungle, you can do anything, boys. It's possible. Sky's the limit. Just practice a bit more.
I love it. Tom, do you
Mhm.
have any words for our homie 12-inch here before we send him off?
No, not right now. I think you got the most of it. I mean, like I said, you guys played really well. Like I love your guys' team comp. I will say that. I love the fact that we can watch Hippo get ganked, and then immediately there's just a Senna ult, a Shen shows up with his ult, and then you just see you just Grand Skyfall down and just immediately turn the tables. It is a
So
spectacle to watch.
well, it's rough because the thing is like Hippo actually doesn't. I call the help for Hippo. Hippo starts freaking out, and I'm like, oh, all right, guys, let's throw it all top. It's kind of like it's kind of like this. The fact that he doesn't know that it's coming. I mean, he kind of knows that it's coming, but the way he plays is like he doesn't know that it's coming, and so nobody else thinks it's coming either because he doesn't know it, right?
Mm.
And then we're all there, but it happens every single game. But you can't not gank Hippo because he's playing Darius into orange. So I mean, what do you do, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, you guys certainly had incredible team comps, both in game one and game two specifically. So very well played from you guys. Well, 12-inch, thank you so much for joining us on the casting desk tonight, my friend. Thank you for the incredible show, and we hope to see you pop off just as much as you did in next week's
Mhm.
matches.
Any day. Hey, have a great one, guys. Thank you for
It
having
was
me.
well,
Thank you.
man.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for us tonight, man. Tilted Tom, thank you so much for coming out tonight to be able to show us these games here. Well played from both the Footlongs as well as Team Front to Back, my friend. It was a pleasure to be able to have you once again with us. Once again, the TCL is brought to you by our friends over at League Spot. Once again, your league, your way. You can find it all online as leaguespot.gg. Anything else from you, Tom, before we sign off?
Uh, I will inform what the next game is as soon as I pull it up.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic because we do have our next match happening tomorrow.
Yep.
on
Tomorrow, it
National
looks
League.
like the last week for this match is going to be Lynn's team versus Control's team.
Alrighty. Alrighty, guys, you heard it here first. We hope to see you guys tomorrow, once again, 8 p.m. Eastern as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Toasty TG.
My name is Tilted Tom, and yeah, thanks guys for watching. Come back again.
Alrighty, have a great night, guys. See you tomorrow.